then I'll send it to you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Can I just ask,
like I
is
said,
the voice clear today? My laptop, is it clear today?
It's not very clear. It's not very clear, but you come on and off. It
Really?
just gets electronic sometimes. That's all. It gets electronic.
And
Okay, so let me just repeat
I
what I
thought I
said.
cleaned it all up.
Let me repeat what I said so it's captured. So essentially,
Okay.
I was talking about how this is a straightforward interview from what I can see, because it's core Scrum. They're looking for a Scrum Master that can come and help them to understand the Scrum process and to help them grow. So the Scrum process you understand very well. You are very comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Yes, and like I said, you want to pay attention to the soft aspect in terms of team dynamics, psychological safety, not just doing agile, but being agile, and agile not being the goal, but that you are helping the team to work towards high performance.
High performance, yeah.
Helping them to work towards high performance, to become autonomous and self-managing and be able to manage themselves as they work towards, constantly improving themselves. Because the environment is turbulent, is volatile. So it's not a case of, oh, we know how to do agile now. It's about being agile in terms of our mindset and being able to constantly embrace change and adapt to change. That's what's important. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
They talked about stakeholder management. Of course, in this
Yeah, they
environment,
talk about.
yes, you have stakeholders and you want to really get familiar with the stakeholders. What do they want? What do they need? Who are the influencers? Who who should be kept informed? Who do you need to consult?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Consult.
The product owner is the one always engaging, well, engaging mostly
With the
with the,
stakeholders.
yes. But that's not to say,
From what I was told,
yeah.
From what I was told, I don't have a Scrum team already.
Do they have one
From
already?
what I was told. No.
They don't have a Scrum
So
team
it's
already.
likely that they might not even have. No, they don't.
So you're going to be kicking off a Scrum team.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, which is good. So if you're kicking off a Scrum team, it means you are going to be teaching them Scrum from scratch. So if they ask you, how will you
I
go about
asked
it?
the HR.
Hmm?
No, I did ask the HR and she said they don't have one.
So which means you're going to form a Scrum team for them.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know that if you want to form a Scrum team, you have to form a cross-functional team.
That's correct, yeah.
You're forming a cross-functional team for them. You then want to go through all the things that I've talked about in training, things like journey lines, market of skills, team agreement. You can't start a team without having a team agreement. Okay. And then understanding,
yeah.
And then they need to understand the products they want to build. Team agreement, journey lines, so that everybody can really know themselves properly. And then market of skills. You remember all those, don't you? Hmm?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And then you need to then understand when we put this team together, what are we building? What is the product? What is the product? They need to understand what they need to build so that they can start to scope it out. The product owner will be the one providing that information. This is what we are building. This is the goal of the organization. So you want to help them scope it out. But before they can do that, they need to understand how to use the Scrum framework, isn't it?
The framework, that's correct, yeah.
So which means you're going to have to teach them what Scrum is all about.
What Scrum is all about.
You will have to teach them what Scrum is all about. Forming a team, having a product backlog, the Scrum frame cycle, sprint planning, all the usual stuff within the Scrum cycle, the ceremonies, the backlog
Yeah,
refinement. You're going to have to
that's
teach
correct.
them all of that. How to estimate stories and things like that. The sprint review, you know. So you're going to have to teach them the
And the
cycle.
sprint
So I have a deck
retrospective.
of slides that I can send to you that you can adapt for your own use.
Okay.
Because when you have a Scrum team to teach,
Okay.
you just teach them enough to get started. And then as you go along, the teaching continues and the coaching continues. And then, of
Okay.
course, they will need you to be reporting progress, in which case you want to make sure that the tool is capturing the burn up, the burn down charts and stuff like that. And to be able to, in conjunction with the product owner, probably
Run down
report.
charts and the velocity and
Yes,
stuff.
yes. And be able to have that report, put together for management. When you start a new team, you won't have the velocity immediately.
That's correct, yeah.
Mhm. So one
You
second.
have to go through at least 2 or 3 sprints before you can actually know the velocity of the team.
Probably three or four, even probably three or four. But the most
Yeah.
important thing is, you know,
Yeah. Okay.
um, the fact that everybody knows this is an empirical environment. We've just started. We'll do the best that we can, and as we move forward, our velocity will begin to emerge. Um,
Okay.
when they ask you questions, be mindful how you answer. Make sure you don't come across as command and control. Always, if they ask you a question,
Okay.
think about it properly and say to yourself, okay, maybe this is something, always remember that you're not there to direct the team, is what I'm trying to say. You're not there to
That's
dictate
correct,
to
yeah.
the team. Exactly. Exactly. That's so important in the way you answer your question. It can be any type of question, but in the way you answer, always make sure you don't come across as command and control, as trying to, always find the answers for them. Because remember, you want this team to grow. It's like a child that's about to start walking. They will fall a few times, but we let them fall, right? They fall, they get up, they learn. So, but you are there guiding them. And things like, for example, if they say to you, it could be any other type of question, but let me just use this example. If they say, just a moment. If they say, what would you do if what would you do if a Scrum team comes to you and say they don't want to do daily stand up 5 days a week? What would you do as a Scrum master? How would you answer that?
Our I'll ask them the reason why, and I'll also allow them to go ahead with it.
Fantastic.
Obviously, they will learn that, it will not work. What would see the reason why they need to have it every day.
Or that they will see whether it works or not is a better answer, not that it would not work,
Yeah.
but that
Okay. Well,
yes,
yeah.
I will ask them why. If they let me, I will say, okay, go ahead and experiment. This is an empirical environment, because after all,
Empirical environment.
there is a retrospective, right? And and over time, if it's not working for them, they will know themselves. They will know,
Yeah.
and they will make those adjustments. And that is why this is a PDCA environment, right? Plan, do, check, act. It's an empirical environment. So that is how you
Yeah.
want to answer questions like that. So take, for example, again, another question, just so that you get into that mind frame of, this is how to answer these kind of questions. If, for
Thank you.
example, they say, like they have a team agreement, and maybe they put
Okay.
something in place, maybe they put a measure in place. Maybe take, for example, okay, if anybody comes late, we're going to maybe ask them to pay a fine or whatever, things like that. Do you necessarily have to be involved, or is this something that the team should do themselves?
I'll allow the team to do it themselves because,
Ah,
the team, I'm not pull them, but they're there to pull me. So I'll allow them to do it. If it works fine, then that's okay. If it doesn't work, then they will adjust.
fantastic. So always remember that you need to think about the team first to say, okay, is this something they can sort out on their own, even when there are impediments? Even when there are impediments, don't jump as a scrum master to remove it. First, ask yourself, is this something they can sort out themselves? Otherwise, it's like you're just being a mother to them, and you don't want to do that. You don't.
You're
Yeah,
not allowing them to grow.
exactly, exactly. So I would just say, you know what, stay calm, go through the anti-patterns document as much as you can again, go through the interview questions, because the interview questions are interview questions and answers that I gave to you guys. It's question and
Yeah.
answers, right? So the answers are there. And just be calm. And remember how we've gone through the practicals, the sprint reviews. Remember the backlog refinement, the importance of that, how it ensures our backlog is in order and ready for the next sprint. It helps us ensure we work
Yeah,
towards our
because they
definition
actually
of
talk
ready.
about
Yeah, go on.
they actually talk here. There is something here to do with um, defining requirements as
Yeah,
well scoped,
that's it.
testable, customer focused ethics and stuff.
That's why I
Yeah.
said design thinking and product discovery.
Design thinking. Yeah.
So tell them that you will
Yeah.
facilitate this product discovery and design thinking workshop. And design thinking, it's about putting the customer at the center. You are putting the customer at the center, because during your design thinking, you are actually really trying to pre-plan, you know, and to come up with prototypes, sketchy prototypes for the customers, so that we are all sure that we are building the right thing for the customer. It is customer
The
centric.
right product. That's
Yes, it's a
correct.
customer centric approach. And of course, you have your product vision, you have your product roadmap, and you go through the product discovery so that you can come up with your product roadmap, which is your high level epics, as well as your product vision. Because you know how this environment is. You start with one product, you really don't know what the product will look like 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line. So, but you have a journey,
Right.
and that journey can change based on the changes in the environment, based on customer requirements and changes in the market. So
Exactly.
um, I think. And then the principles, always remember that the principles, as much as possible, when they ask you a question, see how you can use the principles to support it. The money, the 4 values and the
Okay.
12 principles. For
The
example,
4 values, yeah, and the 12 principles.
Exactly. So you can say, for example, that first question where I said, if they say they don't want to do their daily stand up every day, they want to do it twice a week, you say yes, that um you, this is supposed to be an environment where team members are motivated as part of the principles. You understand? It's an environment where you
The principles,
where
yeah.
yes, where you promote autonomy, and that it will be important for you to let them live out those values as much as you are living out those values. And that, by experimenting, the Scrum framework itself is self-correcting, and during the retrospective, they will come to realize whether this is something they want to continue, where they interact about it, if this is something they want to continue, or if this is something they want to change again. What else can
The
I
change
talk
again.
about? So as much as possible, where you can support your answers with the values and principles, go ahead and do that. Always go ahead and do that. So I would say go through the values and principles again. Well, the 12 principles, the 4 values are easy to remember. The 12 principles, I would advise you to go through them again. so that it's you are able to probably use it
Okay.
in support of some of the answers you might be given. um
Okay.
how would you how would you if you have somebody in your team and they are resisting agile, resisting this change to agile or the use of agile, how would you go about it?
I will have a meeting with them, try to explain to them the importance of why the change is happening in the first place, and also try to, and then see how it goes. That's where I will start from.
Always start from what how you can help them. Don't even talk about agile. Of course, what you've just said is correct, but before that, you're having a one-to-one with this person.
Okay.
I would say, because it will be obvious why you are having the meeting anyway. So I would say, I'm having a meeting with you because I just want to see how you're getting on, what challenges you're having, and how I can help you. You must always come from the angle of I'm here to
Okay.
help you, not you are not doing this thing
Help
well,
you.
or so that it doesn't look like, okay, I'm coming with the stick kind of thing.
Well, first of all, you have to refrain from using killer phrases in the first place, because
Exactly,
that would just person spirit. So
exactly. Exactly. So by observation, you would see these things, and you can just have one-to-one meetings and just say, "Is there any way I can help?" Because you need to understand that change is an emotional journey, and it's not always easy for people.
exactly.
And because of that, you want to come from
Yeah.
that angle to to just say, you know what, I'm having a one-to-one with people, with all of you or whatever, and that I just want to be sure that you are all coping, and that if you have any challenges, that I'm able to meet you, at your point of need. Letting them know that you understand that change is never easy, and then let them understand, and then of course the conversation will be a two-way conversation, and you then just want to get them to understand why agile makes sense now for their organization. And then another thing that's important to be observant about is also to know how well the organization has communicated that change as well. Sometimes organizations do a very
True.
bad job of communicating the why behind their change. Do you see what I mean? So if the
Yeah.
organization
Now I
hasn't done
understand.
that
Yeah.
well, it can be a problem, in which case you then have to pick up the pieces and have one-to-one with people to help them to become more comfortable with the change.
Help them to understand.
Yes, get them to understand and let them know that, you know what, you are not expecting heaven and earth from them immediately, that it's a journey. It is a journey. They will continue to grow and evolve. Let them, remind them that this is an empirical environment. We have a retrospective every 2 weeks. As a team together, we will get better. As long as we can continuously have we can continuously interact and have the difficult conversations, we will grow and we will be able to support one another. So yeah, a scrum master really needs to come from the people side, really, really people oriented,
People.
really, really people oriented. So don't forget design thinking, product discovery, product roadmap, scoping out the work. Remember that prioritization is key. You are there also to train the
Yeah.
product owner. You are there to work very closely with the product owner to make sure that the backlog is always in order. And
Closely with product owner.
the product owner, yeah, you're working very closely with the product owner, and you're protecting the team from outside interference. So you see a stakeholder coming to try and give the team extra work that hasn't come through the backlog. You need to kick against that and just educate them, you know. You educate them to say, you know what, you need to come to the product owner so that the work is visible and the work is prioritized.
Prioritize.
Yeah, you'll be fine,
Yeah.
Malay. You've been at this for a while. You'll be fine.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, the last interview, I never got a response. I've tried to send
Hmm,
message to the agent. I didn't get anything. That's very strange.
very strange.
Very, very strange.
Hmm.
And now
I
I
really
keep
hope you
getting
get this
emails
one.
asking.
I really hope you get this one. This one is the job spec is easy. It's an easy job spec.
Yeah, it's an easy job spec.
Yeah, it's when I saw it, I was
And
really
then I keep being contacted by agents that want me to be in the UK for some reason before they can even discuss the job specs with me. But that's
no,
one
that's
of
silly.
those because they say I need to be in the UK for at least 3 years or something, or also, and because they need to do BPSS security check or something. I'm thinking, God, no.
Okay. Maybe it's all those
Yeah.
government jobs that requires all these extra checks.
It's all those governments. Yes, it's all those government jobs.
You get something. Me, I'm not. I mean, I've been at home for almost 1 year now without getting anything, and I've attended like 5 interviews because right now it is competitive, no doubt, but it's just a matter of time. It's just a
Oh yeah,
matter of time. Organizations are
we
coming
will
back.
all get something.
Oh, we will get something.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time. Just a matter
Yeah,
of
we'll
time.
get something.
So my main advice to you for this interview will be just stay calm. There's nothing they're going to ask you that you shouldn't be able to answer based on the scope that I've seen. So all I'm going to say is just stay calm. Go and do extra. The only thing you need to go through is just those two documents, the anti-patterns and the interview question. That's all you need to go through. That's all you need to, so that you can, catch maybe possible questions that they might ask. You understand?
Questions.
Yeah. That's all you
Okay.
need, and just stay calm. Just stay calm. You'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, my dear.
Thank you. Day.
All the best with that. It's on Thursday, right?
Yes, it's on Thursday.
Okay. All the best with it. You will get something soon. Don't worry. You'll get something
Thank
soon.
you.
I'm also looking
Thanks a lot.
for
Thank you so much.